Well, stop me if you've heard this one before, but the Leafs have just acquired Ilya Lyubushkin in a trade. For those who don't get why this might sound familiar, it's because the Leafs actually have previously traded for him back in 2022. Back then, they gave up Nick Ritchie and a 2025 second round pick for him, which ironically means that he was traded for a draft pick that still hasn't even happened yet. In his first stint with the Leafs, he tallied 6 points in 31 games, plus an additional helper in the 7 playoff games he played with them that year. But enough about past trades, let's talk about this year's version. This time the Leafs have acquired Lyubushkin in a three-way trade with the Ducks and the Hurricanes. They're giving up a 2025 third to the Ducks and this year's sixth to the Hurricanes. In exchange, Anaheim will retain 50% and Carolina will retain an additional 25%. The Leafs also received the rights to Kirill Slepets from the Hurricanes, but I doubt there's much interest there. Now, if you recall the stat line I read about his time in Toronto and thought to yourself, well, those stats aren't great, then just hold on because I've got another ugly one for you. In 55 games played this year, Lyubushkin only has 4 assists and is a minus 13 on the season. Not great stats from a defenseman. That being said, those stats are with the Ducks, who are a bad team this year, so take them with a grain of salt. And Lyubushkin does bring a couple things to the Leafs lineup that I would argue they desperately need. The first upside is that he is a right-handed shot on defense, something the Leafs sorely need. The Leafs defense is kind of a mess. Outside of Morgan Rielly, no one is really first-line defense material, and while I'm not suggesting that Lyubushkin will play on the top line, the other thing of note from the Leafs D-men is that they're all left-handed shooters. Making him a right-handed shooter adds a lot of value. As if that wasn't a mess enough already, Mark Giordano just got injured in last night's game versus the Coyotes, and you know who the Leafs replaced him with? Mitch Marner. That's right, Toronto's D situation is so bad that their $11.5 million forward has to cover on defense. Secondly, Ilya Lyubushkin brings physicality to the lineup, which is definitely an aspect of the game that the Leafs are lacking. Lyubushkin is 6'2" and has 112 hits this season so far. Injecting that kind of bulk into your lineup is going to pay off big time come postseason. The Leafs have a reputation for being a bit soft, so this move is a step in the right direction to counter that. The other real nice thing is that with all the cap retained, the Leafs are getting Lyubushkin for less than league minimum, which likely means that this is not the only move they're going to make before the March 8th trade deadline. I think it's highly likely that the Leafs continue to try and get a top-line defense, but with Tanev already being moved to the Stars, I'll be honest and say I'm not 100% sure who is left out there that could fit that kind of role. I guess we'll see though. Let me know down in the comments what else you think the Leafs will do before the trade deadline. That's all for now though. See ya.